Change is the only constant in life, yet most of us resist it fiercely. What if embracing change, the Buddhist way, could transform your entire experience of life? Change is often seen as an enemy, a force that disrupts our plans, shakes our sense of security, and challenges our grasp on what we hold dear. Yet, when we look through the eyes of ancient wisdom, particularly Buddhism, we find a deeply transformative perspective. Nothing is permanent, and that truth can be the doorway to peace rather than despair. Today, we're going to explore why nothing lasts forever, and how embracing change from the Buddhist viewpoint can reshape not only how we cope with life's ups and downs, but how we thrive within them. Let's dive in. Buddhism is one of the world's oldest spiritual traditions, with a core teaching centered around impermanence, commonly known as anicca in Pali, one of the principal languages of early Buddhist scriptures. This concept tells us that all conditioned things, everything we experience through sense, thought, or feeling, are in constant flux. Mountains erode, bodies age, emotions rise and fall, possessions break down, and relationships evolve or dissolve. This ever-changing nature is not a flaw of reality, but its fundamental characteristic. To try and cling to permanence is, according to Buddhist thought, a setup for suffering. Why? Because when we resist change, we struggle against reality itself, and in that resistance, frustration, disappointment, and pain inevitably arise. The first step in embracing this truth is to cultivate deep awareness. This means paying close attention not just to physical changes around us, but to the subtle shifts within our minds and emotions. Notice how a joyful moment gently fades, how anger simmers and then dissipates, how our sense of self is not fixed but fluctuates depending on circumstances. Meditation offers a powerful tool for this. Through mindfulness practice, we train ourselves to observe the present moment without judgment or attachment. We recognize that each sensation and thought is transient and see firsthand how clinging only amplifies our suffering. But embracing impermanence is not about resignation or passivity. It's about actively living with openness and flexibility. When we accept change, we stop putting up walls and instead flow with life's currents. This change of attitude allows us to respond to challenges more skillfully and savor joyful moments more fully. One beautiful example from Buddhist teachings is the story of the lotus flower. The lotus grows in muddy water, yet it blossoms unstained and radiant. It symbolizes purity, resilience, and transformation amidst impermanence. Just like the lotus, we too can rise above the turbulence of constant change and find our own form of blooming serenity. Another key aspect of embracing change in Buddhism involves cultivating non-attachment. This doesn't mean indifference or detachment from life, but rather a gentle holding of things without grasping or clinging. By loosening our tight grip on people, outcomes, and material things, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of craving and loss. This leads to a state of equanimity, a balanced mind that remains steady through life's shifting landscapes. Let's consider how this translates to everyday life. Imagine losing a job or a relationship ending unexpectedly. The initial shock can feel devastating, but the Buddhist approach encourages us to view these losses through the lens of impermanence. They are not defeats carved in stone, but changing circumstances that open possibilities for growth and renewal. Instead of resisting, we can embrace the new with curiosity and courage. In fact, embracing impermanence can deepen our appreciation for the present moment. When we realize that every interaction, every breath, and every experience is fleeting, we become more attentive and grateful. This heightened awareness enriches our lives and nurtures compassion for ourselves and others who are navigating their own changes and sufferings. Modern science increasingly supports what Buddhism has taught for millennia. Studies in neuroscience show that the brain itself is plastic, constantly rewiring and changing in response to our experiences. This supports the idea that change is embedded even in our biology and offers hope that we are not stuck with fixed patterns but capable of transformation. Practical steps to embrace change the Buddhist way include developing a daily mindfulness practice where you observe the arising and passing of thoughts and feelings. Journaling can also help by capturing how your perceptions and emotions evolve over time. Another approach is to reflect on the impermanence of life regularly, perhaps by contemplating images from nature like seasons shifting or observing the fragility of a flower. Engaging in acts of kindness and compassion also helps shift focus from clinging to personal gain to cultivating connection and generosity. Letting go doesn't happen overnight. It is a lifelong process filled with trial and error. There will be moments when resistance creeps back, when fear or grief overwhelm. Buddhism encourages compassion for ourselves during these times, recognizing that suffering is part of the human condition. We approach impermanence with patience, humility, and a sense of humor, gently returning our awareness to the present moment over and over again. In communities and relationships, embracing impermanence can transform interactions deeply. When we acknowledge that people change, that feelings fluctuate, and that circumstances evolve, we create space for empathy, forgiveness, and deeper bonds. Accepting that nothing lasts forever allows us to hold others more lightly, but also more lovingly. At the grandest scale, understanding impermanence changes how we view life and death. Instead of fearing death as an absolute end, Buddhism invites us to see it as simply another change within the endless cycle of existence. This perspective can alleviate existential anxieties and inspire us to live more fully and meaningfully right now. Even in the face of uncertainty, there is freedom in knowing that nothing is fixed or final. The journey of embracing impermanence is both a challenge and a gift. It calls us to wake up from illusions of control, to see the beauty in fragility, and to participate in life's dance with openness and grace. Every heartbreak, every loss, every shift becomes an opportunity to practice resilience and compassion. By understanding that nothing lasts forever, we are freed from paralysis and invited into flow. Imagine the transformation when we stop fearing change and start welcoming it as an essential rhythm of existence. The Buddhist way teaches us that this embrace is the path to true liberation, a life lived with clarity, peace, and profound joy. So the next time you face uncertainty or loss, remember, everything is passing. In that passing, there is no need for dread. Instead, there is space to breathe, to heal, and to grow. This is the art of change. This is the heart of Buddhist wisdom. This is your invitation to let go and live fully. If this exploration of impermanence and embracing change resonated with you, consider bringing daily mindfulness into your routine and reflecting regularly on the nature of change. Share this perspective with others who may be struggling with resistance to life's shifts. Together, we can cultivate a more peaceful, adaptive, and joyful way of being. If you found this video helpful and inspiring, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this wisdom with others who may benefit from it. We'll see you in the next video.